sense that we're confident to compete anywhere, but it's good to be back in the ring after 8 to 9 months out of the rings. It's not good to take that much time out of the ring. You know, if you want to be good at something, you've got to do it consistently. Yeah. Coach got me in the right position to compete for 12 rounds against someone that wasn't ready to go. Maybe I could have let my hands go a bit more. Maybe this, maybe that, but that's all in the past now. And all we can look forward to is what's going to happen in the future. So yeah, it's just good to be back and getting the ball rolling again. And we're climbing the ladder. We're climbing the ladder once again.
AJ, were you happy with that performance?
Deep down, I'm not happy because ultimately the ultimate goal is a knockout. There's nothing that can top a knockout. Anything short of that isn't what I'm happy with, if I'm honest with you. But it is what it is. As I said, I can't look back anymore. What's done is done, and I can only build on that. That's the mindset.
Were you pushing for the knockout?
There was opportunities. There was opportunities for sure where I pushed. But you know what as well? I'm fighting someone who come in with a plan to win. He had a good training camp. You know, you saw him last time out. He went 12 rounds with Dylan. So he's fresh. I think he had four months out of the ring. So he come off a good 12 rounds with Dylan. He had a good camp this time. He said he's fit. He's fresher. So yeah, he done well. He done well to stay in there. I wish I could have taken him out.
You looked a little bit frustrated at times when Franklin was holding on to you, especially in the later rounds. Was that frustrating for you, especially if you were trying to push for that knockout?
So number one, I can't blame Franklin for anything that goes on in that ring because it's all about me. Everything that happens in life is not to blame others. I've got to take accountability. So if I didn't want Franklin to hold me, I had to move my feet and create space. So that's just down to me. And if I would have created space, I would have been able to get that knockout. So it's not him, it's all me.
Why is it fun to tonight?
Sorry?
Why have you fun to tonight?
Honestly, it's just a fight. Like, that's what I'm saying. You're fighting someone who wants to win. He wanted to win, and he's like, in the round by round, we're kind of talking to each other. You know, I'm pushing his head and shit like that. So there's a bit of like ego, pride that happens in that ring, and it just spills over until the final bell. And that's all it is really. It's all respect. It's all respect. But at the same time, it's a fight. It's different. When you're in that square circle, it's a different kind of energy that you may not, or someone else may not understand.
Did you get under your skin? There was any strains at the end of the first round as well?
In terms of getting under my skin, I matched it. I matched that energy. So no, it didn't get under my skin. I just kind of raised my game. You want to trash talk? I trash talk as well.
Yeah. AJ, later on in the round, you seem to come back into yourself. Earlier on in the fight, you was kind of tentative, kind of like sussing each other out. But what I will say is you usually start panicking after round 7 with you, but you really came into yourself and you hurt him with a body shot. Why did you not follow up with that shot? Because he really crunched like he was going to go.
He crunched, correct. So it's a situation that you can find yourself in where you land one shot and the fighter's looking like they're ready to go, and you go rushing in to land another shot, and they're just not there for the taking yet. If a fighter was there for the taking, believe me, if I see a wounded animal, I'm gonna go in for the kill. But someone like Jermaine, if there was 13 round, or if this was a 15 round fight, he wouldn't have survived. It's a 12 round fight, and he managed to see the final bell. Credit to him. But if I could have, I would have, 100%. It just, for me personally, I just didn't see it was there.
But then we talk about your development as a fighter then, because the previous AJ would have literally went into that hill. So talk to us about kind of like the maturity that you've had, where you've gone with your new trainer Derek, and you kind of like maybe waiting for better opportunities and not rushing in, because Jermaine was a fighter that if you land something on him, he's going to come back with 5 more shots or 3 more shots. Being sensible about your approach.
Styles make fights. Jermaine's actually a counter puncher. So in the fight, you're downloading information at all times. When you're fully concentrating, you're reading everything that's happening. And I can see he was a counter puncher. So, yeah, like when you say like the old AJ, for example, we can look back at times with Klitschko, we went in for the kill in round 5, and the only reason that he managed to survive to the 11th is because I gassed. I blew a gasket in the ring. So then we fast forward to, for example, the Pulev fight, where I thought I was so close to taking him out. I probably threw about 200 punches in a round, trying to take this guy out, and he survived. He's a tough guy. So then I realized, okay, you know what, I've got to get back to my boxing, be clever here. So through experience is the best teacher. And you'll see so many fighters after me come up and go through that process of throwing everything, the kitchen sink at certain fighters that just aren't ready. Their will is on the sky high and they just don't want to give up. So you'll soon see some of these younger fighters coming up, go through that same process, and they'll soon figure out, you know, I've got to get smarter in the ring. Because it's a fight, don't get me wrong, and it's a sport where you take people out. But I'll be honest with you, if Mike Tyson went 12 rounds with people like Pinkland Thomas and I think it was Tony Tubbs. Tony Tucker, yeah, he went 12. What's wrong with me going 12 rounds? You know what I mean?
So finally, to your trainer then, Derek James, the tutelage, the training, the graft, taking them away from us, your thoughts on your fighter's performance?
Well, you know, I think he did a good job. I think that, for me, he followed the game plan, because it was so much about getting past this guy and winning the way that we wanted to win. Knockouts, so yeah, they're good, but win with the strategy and the game plan, never let him into the fight. That's what it's all about. And that's what he did. He was able to control every aspect of the fight, and that's what, and now we have that, that's our foundation. So if y'all go back and look, that's the foundation. So now we have nothing but to do, get better and better and better. That's all I care about.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you, thank you.
AJ, the last time we saw you after the Usyk rematch, it was very emotional. And Joshua, how much of a relief is it for you today to be sat here as a winner, so you've got like a foundation to build towards another world title?
In a way, I feel like you guys and outside pressures put so much pressure on this thing of winning. What can I say? It's an honor to win, of course, that's what we train for, but let's say a fighter loses. He has to just rebuild and come again. I'm going to stop putting that amount of pressure on myself and just work hard and do my best. That's all I can do.
You've been guilty of that in the past then, putting pressure on yourself.
I'm telling you, it comes with pressure. The game brings enough pressure. And for experience, as we speak about, I've learned like coping mechanisms because, you know, the pressure can definitely have an effect on someone. Like, a lot of people don't see what fighters go through when they're alone after a fight that they lost in their own head, even after a fight that they won. Look at what happened to Tyson Fury after he beat Vladimir Klitschko. So there's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves. So you have to kind of remove that expectation, i.e. the knockout, and just do your best. Any fighter coming up, like, just do your best, because that's all you can do.
You mentioned Tyson Fury there, obviously you mentioned him in the ring. I'm sure you
Did I mention him or was I asked? I'm always asked.
You were asked and you responded. I know, and he talks about you training with Derek, and obviously the more you train with him, the better you get, and you'll be able to get that style and learn more from him. But if you were offered Dillian White or Tyson Fury next, what would you prefer?
Well, 100% Tyson Fury. I think that, yeah, that's the pot of gold. That's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, bro. That's what it's about. So yeah, definitely Tyson Fury.
AJ, do you feel like you've peaked, or do you feel there's still more years to find him yourself?
The thing is, we can never know until you keep on challenging yourself. Today was a victory, so we're still climbing the ladder. So I can't actually answer that question until we plateau. But today was a victory, so we're on the high right now.
AJ? Congratulations. You
Thank
talk
you.
about pressure.
Yeah.
That ring walk today,
Yeah.
Eddie's mentioned it's the first time you've got a win since Pulev now. What was the pressure like going out there today?
What was the pressure? None. Remember I said from experience, so going through putting that pressure on myself, I removed all shackles of expectations, because I can't live in other people's expectations. It's only me out there. I've got to do what I've got to do and do it to the best of my ability. So with that being said, I found myself in Texas trying to search for my own improvements, no one forced me to go out there, and we're just taking one step at a time, without any pressure on my back. The only pressure I have really is performing for the coaches, you know, and they're realistic. They understand what this game's about, and I'm going to just keep on pushing and plugging away.
If you compare the emotions going into the ring tonight as opposed to previous nights, did it feel do or die for you?
I'm a very realistic person, yeah. Like, life is short. Life is short. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Don't put that pressure on yourself, because it will take the fun and joy away from what life's about. Like, that's what I'm gonna do or die. That's a great experience to compete in front of 20,000 people. Like, there's no pressure in that. Honestly, it's a blessing. Like, when I look out that ring after a fight, I'm like, shit, like, that's nuts. Look at all these people. Just take it all in. It's just so. It's humbling. It's humbling. I don't take any. You see my car, I'm like, coach, I appreciate you taking me on, because it's like I don't take anything for granted. Like life every day, I don't take anything for granted. So yeah, no pressure at all. This is all a blessing.